Justo se nos fue de ahí al podium, al primer lugar, 17 minutos 38 segundos.
Wow, súper tiempo, la
Yo
verdad.
sentía que él lo debe de hacer diario.
Claro, él me dijo que
Seguro.
corría también Ironman, imagínate. O sea, para eso sí necesitas entrenar muchísimo.
Igual que para estar aquí en Cisco. Entonces él prepara muy bien tanto mente como el cuerpo. Y de hecho, llega un momento donde yo quiero conectar con alguien más a un nivel muy profundo, a un nivel de mente muy profundo. Les quiero agradecer que estén ahorita justamente recibiendo, pero quiero recibir a Vanessa Russell, que está con nosotros el día de hoy. Muchísimas gracias. Ahorita los veo.
¿Cómo no?
Claro que
Gracias.
sí.
Vanessa, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
It's amazing to have you here.
Great
Let's go
to
over
meet-
here.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Muy bien, les voy a platicar un poco de lo que ha hecho Vanessa Russell y por qué es tan importante el momento en el que está ahorita aquí conmigo. Yo estoy emocionado, soy la persona más feliz de todas. All right, so scooch on over
Okay.
here. So, Vanessa,
Yes.
first of all, thank you for being here. It's
Absolutely.
amazing to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I've read so much about you. I know that this is going to be probably one of the best interviews that I'll have.
Oh, wow.
So,
Thank you.
I'm really, really happy about what's going on and what we'll be talking about. So why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So I'm the founder of Love Never Fails. We're an organization that addresses the issue of human trafficking. And we've been in place for 8 years. And I'm just so grateful to be here in Mexico to just share a little bit about what we see in the way of human trafficking here, right here in Mexico, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but that means there's a land of opportunity here that
Yes.
we can work on together to do a lot of stuff. So how does your story begin? I know that you've been for years with Cisco, right?
Yes.
And then you moved on to do what your real meaning of life could be?
Exactly. So I actually have been working in the IT industry for the last 23 years.
Okay.
And the last 12 was at Cisco.
Awesome, okay.
And I was in a global role working for the channel division,
Yes.
working with the partners in a senior sales BDM role, a business development role. And I was also teaching kids dance and doing that on a volunteer basis in the
Wow.
weekends.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. But unfortunately, in 2015, one of my dance students, I'm sorry, 2010, one of my dance students was sexually assaulted, and she was sold throughout the state of California for a year. And it was then that I began to, this bubbling up of this purpose in me began to start. And as I worked with my colleagues at Cisco, my bosses, everyone was so supportive of me pursuing this. And so I made the decision in January of this year to do this full time.
Okay.
And so I've been doing it, and we've been growing, and it's just amazing what we're able to do now because I have the time to do it. And I'm just so grateful to all of my leadership team for supporting me as I made that decision.
This is amazing because that means that while you were at Cisco, there
Yes.
were a lot of people like really motivating and empowering you to do what you want to do.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was definitely a scary thing for me to step out in that way.
Yes.
And do things that I had never done before.
Yes.
But every time I thought about the children and the women and the men that were being enslaved and being held against their will, I gained the motivation and the strength to press past that, that fear, and also to use all the things that I had learned in my career at Cisco for their benefit.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's go into the topic, the main topic. Why human trafficking?
Yeah.
Why does it resound so much with you? Why do you want to attack that topic?
Well, so this is one of the topics I'm actually going to be talking at a women's breakout
Yes.
tomorrow. And one of the topics I'm going to be touching on is how we, in the corporate world, 1 in every 4 women are abused. Sexually abused. And this is something, an epidemic really, that we need to, I think, have more of a dialogue about.
Definitely.
And so I too am a survivor of abuse,
Okay.
of neglect. I actually was in foster care as a child, and I experienced a lot of abuse at growing up. And I kept that hidden for many, many years. And that's really what motivated me to teach inner city kids dance. And different types, hip hop, salsa, flags, all genres, to try and reach as many kids as I could.
Yeah.
And so then when this happened to one of my students, I just felt like I had so much in common with her,
Yeah.
that she had been abused just like I was abused. and that there was an opportunity for me to create a hope for her to have a better life by showing her, first of all, by helping her get out of that situation firstly, but then showing her how she might be able to get a job in the IT world.
Yes.
And how there's hope after being abused in that way.
Yeah, definitely. Here in Mexico especially, there's a number, 47.2% of women have been abused in some way.
Right.
So this is a number that really matters to us.
Yes.
And that's something that we want to do something about it. So tell us, what do you do? How does it work? How can we help in? How can we jump in?
Absolutely. So when you think about helping, one of the things I always like to say, it's the old airline metaphor, which is you have to strap yourself in first before you strap other people in. You have to put the mask on yourself first before you do it for others. And so personal healing, I think, is really important. And you know, what does that look like for you? Maybe it's spending some time in prayer. Maybe it's exercising. Maybe it's healthy eating. But doing those things to take care of yourself if you are a person who has been abused. Then secondly, it's looking around you at others. And, you know, something, this is so, it's not, you know, earth-shattering, but spending the time to get to know people and ask them what they need. It's amazing how many simple things people need that you can meet. Maybe a child needs to learn, a child of a single mom needs to learn to read. Maybe she needs a tutor. Maybe they need a new pair of sneakers for back to school. And they're willing to ask the wrong person for those sneakers, which then leads to human trafficking.
Yeah.
But if they could come to you instead,
you can help.
You could help.
Yeah. That's an amazing thought, because we all have dreams. We all want to accomplish something. But if someone that does not want us to achieve this dream helps us get to another dream, that's where we lose.
That's right.
So,
that becomes a nightmare.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So is there any part where what you're doing with Love Never Fails and what you did at Cisco like combines? Is there like a meeting point?
Absolutely. You know, I was really amazed by that as this came to me 8 years ago. I was amazed by how prepared I was to speak to, first of all, anyone. I you know, had no fear to speak to mayors and congressmen and presidents and congresswomen, and just really be an advocate and a champion for those people that often have no voice. So that was one thing. And I think that Cisco really provides a platform for us to find our voice in that way. The other thing is to not be afraid to ask for money.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Close the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's very difficult for a lot of people that want to help.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to come, hey, I need to fundraise some money. Could you help me out?
Yeah, I'm a professional beggar. I'm really good at it. But, you know, so there's that. And then the other piece is making sure that people understand why they should give. So when we ask, you know, and this is sales, you got to be solving a problem that people care about. So honing in on what do people care about related to this topic? How do they relate to it? And how can I show them that their personal experience is actually very much tied to this issue? And also, I think sometimes people think, you know, that they can't make a difference. That little old me sitting in, you know, some office somewhere, I don't have that ability. And so hopefully just by me, you know, sharing that I have children too, and I'm married, and I have different things that I'm responsible for, but I was able to work this in to my daily life.
That's amazing. And talking about your daily life, how has it changed? I know that you went from a global position, like an executive director position, to now a life where you're helping everybody out, where you're becoming the founder of Love Never Fails and changing and impacting lives of millions.
Absolutely.
So how has the transition been?
Yeah. So I will say that I'm not any less busy than I was before.
No, definitely.
I'm all over the place, meeting with as many people as possible. But you know, there are a few pointed differences. One, I am just able to focus a little bit more on our mission, give it the care and focus and bolster some of the strategies that have always been in my mind, didn't have the time to do it. I certainly miss the stage. I
This
don't see
different.
much of this in the nonprofit world, I got to tell you.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot. You get a different desk.
Yeah,
You get a different desk.
get a different desk. My
Yeah.
desk is pretty nice though, but you know that part of it is a little bit missed. My paycheck's a little bit missed.
Yeah, okay.
I keep telling my husband, Mama needs new shoes. So you know, it's stuff like that that sort of comes up every now and then.
Definitely.
But you know, I'm so grateful to be able to trade out my brand new shoes for a life.
Yeah.
And so it's a great place to be.
That's amazing because what you just said, sometimes we want the new pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're looking for that. And sometimes we forget that probably me giving up
Yeah.
on these pair of shoes might give 10 new shoes to somebody else.
That's true.
Right?
Oh, yeah. I actually just had this discussion with a young lady that I'm mentoring,
Yeah.
and she has like 5 pairs of Jordans. Nothing against Jordan tennis shoes,
Hey,
but she
they're
has
good.
5 pairs of them, and they're in boxes because nobody can use them, including her.
Yeah.
And then we had a very deep conversation about the worth of those Jordans and why they were not being used and why they were in these boxes and how much they cost. And she became contemplative about them and said, yeah, why do I have these when there are children that I could use one of these shoes to provide maybe 10 or 20 children a pair of tennis shoes, maybe not Jordans, but some other brand. And we had this rich conversation, and I said, honey, do not give up all your shoes.
Yeah.
Keep a couple of them that you absolutely love, but maybe you keep 2 and you give away 3, or you sell 3 so that you can help. Right.
Exactly.
And so that was and this was like a 16-year-old girl, and she was just really thinking about it. So I challenge all of us to have that sort of inner dialogue, or even talk about it with our families.
Definitely. I want to go and challenge you now to
Okay.
something different. Okay.
Okay.
So let me just click over here and go this way. So what I want to do is I want to challenge you to tell us a little bit about Cisco Live.
Yes.
And how Cisco Live, I mean, how many Ciscos did you go to, Cisco Lives?
I went to about 4.
Okay, so
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
So in those 4, it left you something.
Yes.
Okay? So I want you to tell us why Cisco Live is important.
Yes.
And I don't want you just to say it, but I want you to draw it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see what you can draw and tell us about it. And also we'll be sharing a couple of details on the way.
Okay. So oops.
There you go,
I'm
there you
gonna draw a person
Yeah?
that is walking into a test center
Okay.
and taking a CCNA test.
Okay.
I know many of the engineers that were on my team
Yeah.
actually did that, and they became certified
Okay.
as a result of having that
Yeah.
available. Also, this maybe isn't just for partners, but it's also for customers.
Okay.
So that was pretty awesome. Then there's the learning, right?
Yeah.
The learning about the new technology.
Okay.
So is that SDA?
Yeah.
Is that what's the new technology? Internet of Things?
Okay, I like it. Yeah.
Whatever it is. I haven't forgotten everything.
You're good, you're
Maybe
good with
it's
it.
low, no touch.
You got it.
Go to market. So these details our customers need to know about, because, and look, I'm saying still haven't lost.
Hey, but it's
Cisco
good.
is me, I'm
It's a
Cisco.
part of you. It's a
That's
part of
right.
you.
So, customers still need to know about these technologies. So pitching is
Yeah.
one of the other things. And the last thing, and sorry, it's so important to me, is the food.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's important to everybody. Everybody.
So the coffee, the cakes, and the yummy dishes that are making me very happy.
And it makes everybody happy. It makes everybody happy. This has to be the most detailed drawing that we've had.
Oh, okay.
So
Must
it's
be the
amazing.
engineer in me, sorry.
It's amazing. What we need, this is a work of art.
Yes.
So we need the artist's signature because we want to
okay.
share it. We want to share it. This is an amazing part where you definitely drew down the parts of what a Cisco Live really means.
Yes.
So it's connection, it's certification, it's knowledge, and it's also networking. It's also enjoying. It's also part of it.
Absolutely.
It has been amazing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I would love to talk to you about. I mean, there's so many topics, but I would really want to just dial it down to one. Okay. So on my behalf, what I do is I get to host a ton of videos, a ton of stuff, and also events. But I also do a lot of talks like on main topics like pornography and how it affects people and how this leads to human trafficking.
Absolutely.
So could you just let us know, and all the people that are viewing this, could you just tell them one thing that could really change their minds on why they need to take action in this part as love never fails?
Absolutely. I would just say to the folks that are watching that this is human trafficking and cyber sexting and all of these variety of ways that people are exploited is at an all-time high.
Yes.
And I think it's because there's so much accessibility, and also there's this perceived freedom that we have. And I would just ask that people use their freedom to create freedom for other people, especially the most vulnerable in our communities, and to notice them, to take the time to notice where those vulnerable people are in our communities, and to, of course, to express to them that they're valued, they're loved, and the best way we can express that is making time for them and advocating for them when their rights are being violated.
That's the best message ever. I would like to thank you. It's been amazing what you're doing, and I hope you keep on doing it every single day of your life.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you for being
so
here.
Good to meet you.
I'm going to change it to Spanish now.
Okay.
Seguimos disfrutando mientras tanto de Cisco Live Cancún 2019 y vamos ahora a una entrevista en algún momento donde vamos a estar muy pronto con Eric Knipp. Seguimos aquí desde Cisco Studio. Bienvenidos a Cisco Live, donde ya estamos encontrando todavía más información y más personas, increíbles personas que hacen este evento posible. De hecho, quiero presentar a una persona y vamos a pasarlo todo en inglés. Vamos a pasar ahora con Eric Knipp. Eric, it's a pleasure to have you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, Eric, so we've got a main topic going on right here. We want to talk about 5G. So, if I'm a person that's coming up to Cisco Live and I don't know what 5G is, I've seen it, but I don't really know what it is. What is 5G?
I guess that is the most important question, isn't it? So 5G is the evolution of the mobile internet and the mobile communications networks. And our current standard right now is 4G, also called LTE.
Yeah.
And that standard's about 8 years old now.
Okay.
And really, if you think about what 4G was about connecting consumers to the internet.
Okay.
And it's what gave us technology, or it gave us the user experience that we have today, where we can essentially have Netflix or YouTube or whatever, wherever we like.
Okay.
5G is the next evolution of that. But instead of an evolution, it really is a revolution. It is a much more advanced